Well, good morning. Foggy morning here coming in. This is what we come to work at. See, they just must have brought a train in, loaded. He's dumping off. So as soon as he gets clear to the crossing there, gotta jump over and get into work, get signed in. Okay. Got a little problem. Not a big problem. Right there. I went down, set up, I tamped 3 ties, and I saw this oil running down on the ground. Anyway, I don't know if I have another hose or not. I'll have to look and see. If not, go back to the shop and see if we got one. If not, we'll get one made. Hoses break every now and then. I'm very, very fortunate. This machine has 15,000 hours on it, and I have very few problems with hydraulic hoses. Okay, I have no idea. Just old age. That hose has been on there since 19. I'm sorry. It's since 2013. Okay, so it's held up pretty good. Anyway, this is a little bit of a problem here because on this one here, you see there's not much room, so you got to get a little bit of a turn there, and you got to go over on this side. Make a little more turn. No big deal. It's just I had it broke loose already, so it was not that loose to start with. It was nice and tight. I got it broke loose off camera. So, but that's what you got to do. Anyway, no big deal. We'll get it. All right, that's tamping. 3 ties. How about that? So I came back up, came here and got in the siding. Train's down there dumping. Okay, it was leaking pretty good, so had to get her shut down. That's the way it goes. Well, yep, she broke all right. That was no big deal. She broke all right, and I did have another one here on the tamper, so I've got it just about installed. I turned this fitting here at an angle because it was straight up and down, so the hoses won't rub with each other now like they were before. Anyway, so I got to tighten this up and get this one tightened up. I got them started. So like I said, you got to just mess around here. And that's, yeah, it's no big deal. I got that bottom pretty tight. So I'll get this good and tight. Yeah, a little bit more. All right, that's great. I get this tightened up, and we'll be right back in business. How about that? Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I really like these wraps. There we go. Oh, yeah, it's nice and tight. I really like these wraps on here. Let me tell you a story. This is many years ago. Many years ago. I'm trying to think, probably 15. I was, my buddy at the time was in the Tamper. I was down here behind him with the regulator. And I turned around and I looked, in this whole cab was a ball of fire. How about that? The whole cab was a ball of fire. I yelled on the radio. I said, Sam, get out of there. He was tamping. He didn't realize it, but he shut the machine off and jumped out. I got the fire extinguisher out of the regulator. Another guy that was with us grabbed the fire extinguisher out of here, and the fire was up and down the exhaust. Well, I think you know what's going to happen now. What I'm going to say next. Anyway, one of those hoses over there that I just changed, it was either that one or one. I can't remember the hose, which one it was. Got a hole in it. We're shooting hydraulic oil back on this exhaust, and that's what was on fire. Now, I've seen Tampers before that had completely burned up, and there's nothing left, just a rusted out shell. And we were so lucky. But after that, we started putting the wraps on these hoses, which, if you get a hydraulic leak there in the middle, it's going to soak the hose, it's going to run down, it's not going to shoot back onto the exhaust. Those hoses are great, and they protect the rubber also from the sunlight. Sunlight is hard on rubber, as you know. All right, we're right back in business. Train's just about dumped off, so I'm going to have to wait in here for the siding for him to come back up through. I just don't have time to. By the time I get out, he'll be calling wanting to come, so alrighty, we're back in business. Lucky I had, we usually carry one or two of those hoses with us. But it says it's been, I can't remember how many years it's been since one of those hoses went bad. So we're really, really lucky. I'm lucky it was an outside one and not an inside one. Work had on the inside in there. Okay. Milepost 6 right here. And I got to head back here, get cleared up for a train so a train can run. Stuff. It's really, no one wants to see a strike happen. My dad always said no one wins in a strike. So glad we got that resolved. I've always said that, we worked under a contract extension. That's fine. That's if the contract talks are going well, if both parties are negotiating in good faith, then it's prudent to have a contract negotiation. Things aren't like they used to be. Not at all. When I started here in August of 1977, that fall, in the late fall, we're represented by the United Mine Workers of America. But at that time, well, let me say this, at that time, things were different than they are now. There was one contract that covered all the United Mine Workers across the United States. So when we had one contract, and when the contract went up, every miner went on strike. We didn't have contract extensions then or talks or anything like that. Over the years, that kind of got did away with. So one of our union presidents, Mr. Trumka, started with the selective strike. It's back sometime in the early 1980s. They struck against Pittston. I'm sure a lot of you guys will remember that name, Pittston. But anyway, over the years, that has so that each individual coal company now negotiates their own contract with the international union. The local union does not negotiate the contracts, and the international union is the only ones that can call or authorize a strike if needed to be. So we kind of don't have much involved in the contract negotiations, which is probably a good thing. But anyway, yeah, back in 1977, I was a young man, 22 years old, and I just started it here. Didn't have much money at all. I didn't have any money. But anyway, that winter of 77, 78 was an extremely hard winter weather-wise. We're on curve 28. Just crossed over bridge 4. But that was a 110-day strike we had that year. It was rough. Back then, things were, like I said, a lot different. Every single coal mine went on strike across the board. So anyway, I remember going down to some non-union mine or in southern West Virginia that year with a mob of guys. Things got a little bit rough. I was there. We turned over several cop cars. Things were kind of violent back then. Things have changed a lot now. You don't that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. Anyway, we're I may tell you the history of some other strikes at some point in the future, but at least it's really good that we're got our contract resolved and are working. How about that? And another thing, there was no takeaways from the health care, which is awesome. Everyone knows. My wife was just telling me the other day, in the last year, healthcare costs across the United States have risen about 18%. She was reading somewhere online, Bridge 5. But yeah, and healthcare costs have risen significantly for everyone. Healthcare insurance premiums are they're so high they're in orbit. So I think it's we're very fortunate, very, very lucky that no healthcare costs got taken away. I know my wife's work, her last contract, they took some healthcare benefits away from those people. But anyway, so I think all in all, it's a pretty good contract. Personal opinion. Okay. Well, while I'm on the subject of strikes, from 1972 to 77, before I came here, I worked at the power plant. And I don't remember the exact year, 74, 75, 76, probably 75 or 76. We went on strike, as well as all did the line crews for the West Penn Power. That was pretty wild at that time. They tried to bring coal into the power plant over the river. There was guys on top of the one bridge dropping concrete blocks down on top of the pilot house. I remember there was at least 3 bullet holes in the pilot house that ended up getting there. Some of the machinery had bullet holes in the radiators. That's the way it was back then. I'm not condoning that kind of, even though I was a part of it back then. I was a lot younger, but I am not condoning that kind of stuff. So don't get me wrong. Strikes are not like that at all anymore. But just wanted to. Didn't want anybody to think that I approved of that kind of stuff, even though, but like I said, that was back in the 70s, and that's just history and just the way it was back then. And as you know, if you look in the history of coal mine strikes, and probably a lot of other strikes, there was a lot of bloodshed, but way back in the early 1900s and stuff in the strikes. But it's just a history lesson, that's all. And that kind of stuff will never happen now. Anyway, I want to clear that up, add a little more in. Okay.